Good evening, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to the Gator Gang podcast. I am your host, Bobby, and I am joined here with my co hosts, Darryl and Lucas. And make sure y'all like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It is in the comments or in the details below. Um, but we have a special guest that's going to be joining us hopefully sometime tonight. So y'all make sure y'all tune into that. But Lucas and Darryl, a bowl game, not the one that we had envisioned in the beginning of the year, but it's the UCF versus Florida game that UCF wanted back in 2017. They kind of built some hype around this big matchup of what it could have been. And it's not we're not the team we were then. They're not the team they were then, but we get the matchup that fans have been looking for. It's an in-state, battle. The game sold out. So, Lucas, I'm gonna start with you on this one. How are you feeling about the matchup with Florida versus UCF?
I just want to beat Gus Malzahn's ass.
Hey, I like that.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's a big rivalry game, even though may not necessarily play them as an in-state game. And I thought the bowl committee did a pretty good job matching us up with that because how do you sell, a game with a 6-6 team or 8-4 team and get a sellout that quickly? Well, that's how you do it. You match up a good opponent against the rivalry. If it would have been Miami, it would have been the same thing. So I thought they did really good matching us up with an in-state rival, and in Tampa, in the center of the state. It's going to be a perfect matchup, man. I'm really excited about it, and talking to the guys, I think they're getting pretty excited about it as well. So I hope they come out with that energy that they did in that Florida State game, and kind of that chippiness to it, and lay down the law.
Well, at the beginning of the year, Florida's already been to Raymond James Stadium
Yep.
playing USF at the beginning of the year, so we're
Well, they're not
no
gonna
we're
be.
not foreign to playing in an NFL stadium. So we'll get to do that as well again. So I mean, it's always great to be able to play in Tampa, and like you said, the committee did a great job at matching that up. Because how do you sell tickets and make it a good game to where fans are gonna put their asses in the seats, and that's
Mhm.
exactly how you do it.
Yep.
Uh,
I mean,
um,
that's exactly what you do.
I mean, it might be the Gasparilla Bowl. UCF comes in this game 8-4. Florida comes in this game 6-6, and that's just how it is. And
By the way, it's
Florida's
not
with
February
a
we're
lame duck
famous.
coaching staff with Dan Mullen being gone, Todd Grantham being gone, John Hevesy being gone, and Greg Knox stepping up as interim head coach, and is got some wins under his belt, and hopefully he can get one more. But Darryl, I know a lot of the things are talking about with Anthony Richardson, with the knee surgery and not being able to play. Emory Jones throwing his name in the transfer portal and then playing in the game. What do you think about Emory Jones's mindset coming into this game?
Well, there's two things, and we talked a little bit about it pre show, but either one, he's either going to come out and he's going to want to show to whoever he's trying to impress that he's the guy, or there's a distraction to this. So hopefully it's the latter. Hopefully it's the first one where Emory's focused, and Emory's a great quarterback. He's not a bad quarterback. He just has to work on some fundamentals of reading the defenses. That's the only thing Emory lacks, in my opinion. But he's a great quarterback and a great athlete, great Gator player. So I'm hoping that he goes out and wants to prove that wherever he wants to go. I wish him the best of luck, and this is an opportunity for him to be on the stage to prove that he can be that guy for whatever team he's going to.
Exactly. I think it plays, great in his benefit to play great for whatever team he's going to end up on, because it's not good to, go in outing. And I'm sure, he's proud to be a Gator, and he's proud to, to give what he has because he's given everything, and he's had some moments where it don't look so great, but a lot of that is timing. And if he could have just got over that, that timing, he's a great quarterback. He can definitely get the everything going. But I would like to welcome Eddie to the podcast from the Gator Collective. Thank you, Eddie, for taking the time out of your day to come on the podcast and join us. It's great to have you.
Hey, it's an honor to be with you guys, man. You guys are true Gators, spreading the word. We're just meeting today, but we're family. We're family in this battle to try to get us to the next level.
Absolutely. We've heard so many great things with college, the way college football has gone with the NIL and the Florida Gators are doing so great with a lot of everything kind of coming to fruition with getting the facility next season, getting the recruiting on track, getting Billy Napier and the staff who has done a great job in the limited time that that he's been on with the UF staff.
It's been amazing. I feel like we're at such a pivotal time in our history as Gator fans. What an opportunity to go from fans that watch games and cheer, and other than being loud in the stadium, we were powerless to affect the program, right? We could support from that perspective, but for the first time in our lives, we actually can say what we're going to do at the Gator Collective is come together and be able to put together what I like to call NILU, meaning that if players choose to come to Florida, they are taken care of more than any other program in the country. We're so happy to say that, man, we had over 40 plus football players on NIL contracts this year. We just started 100 days ago. We have 1,300 members. We are annualizing revenues of around $200,000 in 100 days. And these are $6 donations per month, $10 donations. And what an exciting time. You couple that with, as you said, Bobby, the new facilities, the great new head coach who's an amazing strategist and building a world-class elite team. And then you couple that with the Gator fans, which in the state of Florida, we have over 300,000 alumni alone. Wow, millions more fans. And guess how many are part of the collective right now?
A lot. I mean,
only 1,300. But we are already at 200,000 in revenue. So now do that. I come join your podcast. You guys have 10,000 fans of this podcast. Yeah. If even half of them were to join the Gator Collective, where does that put us in the realm of being able to offer the number one recruits in the country, the best NIL deals on the planet?
What is there, Bobby, between both groups that we're sharing is like almost 14,000 people?
Yeah, almost 14,000 members.
Wow.
Between both the groups. So,
amen. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Over 14,000 people. Hopefully all 14,000 are going to watch this and say, you know what, tomorrow I'm going to take what I was going to spend at Starbucks and I'm going to give that to the Gators, the Gator Collective, once a month. And that's where the idea came from. I stood at a Starbucks. And by the way, scared money don't make money, right? and you can go buy the merch, right? Like, hell, I get that. There we go.
There you go.
So I walk into a Starbucks. I see 30 people waiting for a $6 coffee. They spend it every day. And some of them are even got on Gator shirts and Gator license tags and Gator alumni tags. And I see it, I'm like, and this is kind of where the idea comes from. I love talking about ideas. I didn't give you guys any of my background because I'm so excitable when it comes to this whole thing. But I was a Gator baseball player. Lucas knows that about me. Some of you guys might know that. I played baseball for the Gators. I came from Brooklyn, New York. I couldn't spell Gators when I got here. But, man, did I fall in love with the university when I got here and having an opportunity to play for the Gators. But big thing for me is when I got to campus, I was dead broke. I know what it was like because as a baseball player, you have 11 scholarships, 11 and a half scholarships divvied up amongst 50 players. So maybe you get books and maybe you get a Pell Grant, but that just kind of pays for your living expenses. And you don't really have much else beside that, as far as being able to do things, And so when this NIL thing broke, I just started looking around the landscape and I was wondering who was going to do something for us. And I saw, other schools starting to you hear rumbles about them going to get something started. And I started thinking, what are we going to do for the Florida Gators? And one thing that I was looking at when I looked at the landscape is I saw a lot of companies doing brokerage work. And what that means is they would say, I own a pizzeria, Mr. Gator athlete, Anthony Richardson, will you hold up my pizza for me? And I'll pay you $100. And so NIL became very surfacey, and it is that way around the country. It's represent my product, and I'll give you $50. I'll give you $100. I'll give you $1,000. I wanted to do something a little bit more all-encompassing. I wanted to put together something that impacted people's lives. And so I started looking at Gator Nation, and I'm on Twitter and Facebook, and I see all you guys on there. And what I learned about us is we're crazy about our Gators. We're nuts. We're completely nuts about them. Right?
Passionate fan base.
We're a passionate fan base. We hate to lose. We know we invented the fun and gun, right? We saw Steve Spurrier and just the sharpness of his personality in the Bowden years and those battles in climbing the hump and then beating Florida State in the national championship. We saw the Urban Meyer years mixed with the Billy Donovan years. We have climbed the highest mountains. So the expectation for us is to be the best. I know the rest of college football is like, oh, well, that was 10 years ago, 12 years ago. But when I look at the landscape, I'm like, okay, now we have these new facilities coming out. Now we got this amazing opportunity to make a change. So August 24th, I start getting together with other crazy Gator fans. Some of you guys might know Gator Jen, and I talked to my wife about it. And I promised my wife, this is my last crazy idea. I said, Kelly, please give me permission. She gave me permission to give my last crazy idea. So I grabbed a couple of Gator fans that wanted to do this. We kind of kept it on the hush hush. We're like, we're going to do something. And then I remember leaving the gym, and I went to the gym that day, that one time that week. No, I got to start going 4 days a week. But I went that week, and I get off the treadmill. I'm like, it's happening. I called somebody at my investment firm, that one of my operations managers, and said, let's incorporate the Gator Collective. And he said, what is it? I said, it's going to be a exclusive fan club where fans get to hang out with Anthony Richardson. They get to know Dameon Pierce. They get to find out that Antonio Valentino is one of the sharpest dudes on the planet. You know, last time I talked to Randy Russell, and you know what I said? We had a Spaces event last night, live event with players. And I asked the fans and the players, how many other fan bases are just hanging out with the players right now? You know how many? 0. We're the only fan base that's getting to know our players like that. And then we have these exclusive events. And then some of the great people that work here, you know, Gator Jen, one of them, she came up, you know, we need an advisory board. So we reach back and we grab guys like Ben Troop and Shannon Snell and Major Wright. And we say, hey, guys, we're doing this crazy Gator Collective thing. Do you want to join us in helping us spread the word? And more importantly, oversee our operation. Let the fans know that this isn't an Eddie Rojas thing. This isn't a Jen thing. This isn't a Kelly Rojas thing. This isn't a Doug Grosso thing. This isn't our thing. We want to give this to Gator Nation because it's all of ours. We pull together. We put $6 in the pot a piece. If you could do 10, do 10. If you can do 20, do 20. But $6 to join. Well, I wanted to put a number on there. That was a Starbucks coffee. So that's what we put on there. Give us $6 a month. That's it. We put 20,000 of us in there, right? And let's say we average $10. You know how much we raised that year? Quick math.
$200,000.
Yep.
$2.4 million.
Yeah. I mean that's
$1 million.
It's an amazing concept, and you are absolutely right. Scared money don't make money. And I love that you had a dream and you had a goal and you reached out for it and you made it happen. And you know, it just goes to show that, you know, it matters about your mindset and the people you take with you, because the people you've taken with you have helped, you know, make everything happen. So you're right. It's not just a you thing or, you know, a her thing. It's an everybody thing. It's a team thing. And the bigger goal in mind is the players.
That's right. And my dream is for all of us to be at the next national championship and watching orange and blue confetti fall from the rafters after we win it. And to know that everyone that was part of the Gator Collective has played a role in that. I mean, I woke up this morning to Kamari Wilson. We all know that name.
Yep.
Tweeting, telling Gator Nation, become part of the Gator Collective. He literally tweeted it out. Top recruits are telling you they are watching. They want to know when they show up at Florida or Alabama, great. We both have great coaches. We both have amazing facilities. We both have nice nutrition bars. What happens off the field for us matters. And the fact that we can get thousands of us together to join a fan club, to get to talk to them once a week, to get to do events with them. You know, Jen and her husband, and they took about five different families that won a raffle, and they went bowling with 15 football players during the season. How cool is that? They go bowling on a Sunday. They're eating with them. They're taking pictures with their kids, with the players. We're having exclusive moments given to the fans as well. There's so much value in this. And then we have professors at UF jumping in and saying, hey, I'm a PR professional like Jeannie. And she's like, I want to help players craft their message with the fans, because when they leave Florida, they're going to know what a 1099 is. They're going to be well-spoken. They're going to get jobs at ESPN. They're going to get great careers. They're going to get to know CEOs and CPAs and lawyers that are Gators. And so, one thing I love to ask the players is, what's your dream after football, right? You play at Florida. Maybe you go play for my favorite team, the New York Giants or something like that. And you're Kadarius Toney. 5 years after that, what's your goal? 10 years after that, when you're, I'm 44 years old, and, people that are 44, unless you're Tom Brady, probably not playing anymore, right? But what's your goal after that? And the fact that we get to actually get to know the players, think about the bridges that we're going to help shape, and saying, hey, Mr. CEO of investment firm, have you met Antonio Valentino? Do you know how sharp he is? Wouldn't he make a great COO one day of your company? So it goes far beyond just football on the field. This is what we deem as what recruits are really going to want. They're going to want a holistic approach of, what does my life look like after I win national championships in Florida? Did it blossom into on the field success, amazing wealth, because the Gator Collective can afford to do that for me, and then opportunities maybe after the NFL? Is it a building block of a community that comes together and creates something bigger than anyone else imagined? And by the way, let me tell you guys something. We have a phrase at the Gator Collective, and it's stay aggressive. Stay aggressive. Love everyone wants to shut the message up, push the message down, maybe this, maybe that. Stay focused on the message. And what's the message? We need everyone that's listening to this podcast, hearing this for the first time. Go to thegatorcollective.com, become a member now, and then tell 3 people that that love the Gators. Become members too. Why? When 20,000 of us are members at $10 average, we are raising $2.4 million a year, and we don't even need a Bull Gator contribution. We did that with $6 a month, $10 a month. Now, don't get me wrong, Bull Gators that are out there, we love them. Please come to us, help us out, help us get there quicker. But it's beautiful that the average fan, just like you and me, can do this together. Yeah,
that is amazing, Eddie. And I'll just tell you, I was on the space last night, and I get emotional. I'm a very emotional person. I've never really talked to players in that regard. And just being able to do that on the Gator Collective, I mean, it's just an amazing experience to be able to do that as an average fan. That is amazing. So if you are watching, or if you're going to watch this podcast later, you got to get on there for sure. You got to be a part of that Gator Collective. It's so important.
And that's something that we wanted to do, with our podcast as well, is, be able to get recruits and, talk to them and get to know them more than just a football player, and get to know that, beyond the football, they're just like us in the things that they like to do.
Hey, that's exactly right. And let me tell you something. You guys invited me on here. I can guarantee you I'll get some players to come on here with your podcast and be part of this. And again, how is this happening? It's happening because the Gator Collective is going to hire them for their NIL, right? They're going to give them an NIL contract. We can get players to come join you guys. And this is our community. You guys are part of the Gator Collective with me. This is our community. So if you need something, just call us. Hey, we'd love to have so-and-so on. Great. We have 50 plus guys on. We have basketball players on. I don't know if you guys heard about Danny Werfel's street ministry. We're about to partner with them, and we're looking to do some really good causes with none other than Danny Werfel and his group. And so everyone's kind of coming back, right? I feel the energy. Well, we have the opportunity to text with Major Wright every day and talk about it and just feed off his energy. I always think about that hit against Oklahoma when he laid that guy out first play of the game. You guys remember that?
Yeah, one of my favorite memories.
That's the stay aggressive athletic play right there. He was so aggressive. He wanted to dislodge that pass more than the receiver wanted to catch it. And that's what we need to be right now. We need to be that vigilant as a fan base to raise money. Look, I'm going to tell you guys the numbers, right? We're sitting here filming this podcast. Let me tell you guys the numbers right now. People ask me, what are the numbers? And so I'm going to answer a couple of commonly asked questions that some of your listeners might be asking. So right now we sit at 1,307 members. We're raising $13,400 a month. but we did another 53,000 in merchandise, shirts like this, things like that. It's all going in the pot. We're writing individual contracts. Some players get contracts for, upwards of $6,000. Some players get $150. Some players get $300 based on the job description. People ask us all the time, how do these contracts work? Well, just like an ESPN contract, we might tell them, you need to tweet out 5 times a month. You need to be on 4 spaces. You need to do a live event, a filmed event with Shannon Snell at his barbecue restaurant, like Gene DeLance did. That was a really cool episode. If you haven't been to thegatorcollective.com and watched it. Yeah. But so every player has different things they have to do. That's how the contracts are determined. And the big thing for us is to have a pot of gold at the beginning of every year for what? For recruiting season.
Yep.
So we could say, Kamari, you don't have to go to Georgia. You come here. Shamar, who, by the way, what beautiful. I see Shamar James all of a sudden following the Gator Collective today. Right. And so they're getting it. They're understanding what's happening. And that's why we got to keep this in lights. Mm-hmm. They're watching when I get to that university. Is there going to be an opportunity for me? That is a huge, huge thing. And so what an exciting time we sit in. We're not just fans anymore. We're involved now. Yeah. We're investors in the fan club to be involved in this game. So that's a huge, huge opportunity in history for us.
And it's great to, to contribute a little, but to mean a lot. And, a little bit goes a long way. And if we, like you said, if we a little bit, a few of us can do it, that can go a long way with helping everything, blossom into what it can be.
I want to couple this to my day job. I'm a financial advisor. I own a firm. I was known as the little advisor. What that means is some advisors like, oh, if you don't have $1 million to invest with me, I'm not your guy, right? I said, if you have $10 to invest with me, I want to help you with your money. And today I have a firm that manages $4 billion and I have 40 employees. Why? I never turned away anyone. If you think your $6 doesn't matter, you are wrong. As a Gator fan, it absolutely matters. I love the big donations. Great. But we are going to build this with the average Gator fan who just absolutely, like me, loves confetti and is quite frankly sick of the elephant up north dominating college football. I want to slay that elephant. I want us to be the ones that everyone fears when we come in the stadium because they know that we galvanize, we pull together better than any other fan base. And we can do that. We just got to stay aggressive. And what that means is don't shut up about it. Tell everyone about it. You see a guy wearing a Gator hat saying, are you part of the Gator Collective yet? You've got to get involved. We need all of us here, right? Yeah. I feel like we do that with our coach now. And the fact that we have these unbelievable new facilities that are opening up this year and this elite staff he's putting together. Oh, my gosh, that staff is amazing. And, I had the opportunity to speak to a couple.
It's not even that full yet. It's just over half full.
That's right.
Can you imagine what you're going to do with a full staff?
I can't wait. I cannot wait. And what he's done so far, I'm like, oh, man. The Kamari was a great, great surprise there. And the fact that he's telling folks he's not part of the Gator Collective yet, the rule is he has to wait till he enrolls. Then we can interview him and onboard him and introduce him to Gator Nation as a new Gator Collective athlete. But the fact that he's doing it proactively, telling Gator fans to get involved ASAP, go check his tweet today. That should speak volumes to everyone. That should be like, oh my gosh, the kids that are not here are watching. And so what an exciting time.
Hey, Eddie, I was going, I mentioned it a little earlier in the group. The one thing that really stood out, because I was a little worried when I heard about the Gator Collective, when I first heard about it, giving my money to somebody that I didn't know. And one thing that really stood out to me about the Gator Collective was, one, you guys have always been very genuine every time I've talked to you guys. The players are very genuine, but it didn't matter whether you were doing your $6 or, bigger contribution. If you were able to, you treated us the same way. And that to me stuck. And I said, okay, that's the one I want to be involved in. So, because I don't make $1 million, so if I did, I would give it, but I don't. But that's the point, is that money, just that little bit, it goes a long way. So that really stuck with me. And that's why I'm a member now. So I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was big for me. I wanted to make sure that if you're a college kid on campus and, you could afford $6, that's what we want. That's what we want you to be involved. This is ours. That's why we have, I am a member of the Gator Collective. Like, we're coming out with cool insignias. We want to do everything, and we want to make it be known that this is a class of people that say that our team is very important. very important to us. Our victories, our national championships. We find happiness in that. And that's that, how many of us, I always say, oh, it's not that, it's just football. See, I'm lucky. My wife loves football too. So I'm very lucky that my wife loves football. But I go to all the games. I drive 2 hours up. I drive 2 hours back. When the Gators lose, I'm in a bad mood, right? She could tell you we have what's called optimism season. That's before every season. And when they don't win,
we all are, aren't we?
yeah.
So,
And I'll go to a private room and sit by myself and watch the third and fourth quarter when people lose interest, if we're not having a good game. And I realize this is kind of an important part of all of our lives. It's such an important part of our lives. And if we could do something to impact the winning, that's going to make a big difference for all of us in the next 20 years.
Yes.
Eddie, I'm 3.5 hours away and drive to pretty much every home game. And it is a long drive home for my wife when we're doing bad. So, and so I understand that feeling for sure.
Yeah, that's the beauty about it. And I will tell you, we have the most ethical, amazing Gator. This is what has happened. And by the way, if you're listening to the podcast and you have a specialty, you're great at sales, you're an amazing CPA, you're great at website design. We have Gators all over the country volunteering. I like to talk about Alan Thompson up in South Carolina. He comes to me, he said, Eddie, I run a website design company. I run a marketing company. How can I help? And I said, well, here's the bad news. We have no money to pay right now because we're trying to give all the money to the athletes. He goes, oh, no. I want confetti. I want to slay the elephant. What do you need? I want to do this. We had Chris Martin up in Tennessee, amazing salesperson, amazing energy, calls me up. Hey, Eddie, I'm in sales. How can I help raise money? What do we do? He's working with Doug Grosso, and we're trying to formulate a plan. And trust me, we're dealing with a little bureaucracy you shouldn't be calling our Gator clubs, so because people don't know how to look at NIL yet. They don't realize a lot of times just the importance of this. It's the biggest thing. I'm telling you, I said, the reason I started this is because I said in 4 years, as a matter of fact, I think this early recruiting class showed the first signs of what's about to happen. Mm-hmm. If you don't have a viable, organized NIL opportunity, bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Especially now.
You'll be the next Stanford. Congratulations. You ain't winning national titles. You're done. Because money is going to matter. That train is never late. You invited money into the sport, money is going to matter.
Well, Eddie, I'm going to connect you with Lucas the man because, he's a recruiting expert. So he's a recruiting guy. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, hey, Lucas, we're all about spreading the word to any of those folks. When they get here, we love on them, and we're going to take care of them. And thank you so much, Lucas.
Hey, it's no need to thank me. I love doing this stuff. So I follow recruiting 24/7. So it's kind of like a hobby. So
yeah,
that's awesome.
I just got on Twitter like 2-3 weeks ago because of Lucas and Bobby here. So I'm still learning this Twitter thing, but Lucas kept me up to date for years on recruiting. So he's the recruiting guy.
It's funny. I've had a Facebook page longer than I had a Twitter page, but Twitter I gravitated to. But from what I understand, Facebook has such an untapped market of amazing Gator fans that follow your podcast and things like that, that my goal is for this message to get there and to be viable there. And the key is, it's so simple. Just become a member. It's that simple. If you're listening, go to GatorCollective.com, become a member, and then you'll start receiving our letters. We're very transparent as well. Anyone who wants to see, how many athletes do you have? We have a letter that we send out as well, going over all the numbers. Last letter I saw, we were at, I think, $57,000 in contracts written so far in 100 days. We haven't even raised that money. We just contracted it because we know it's coming in. And I personally invested in the Gator Collective to kind of give it its initial plug of money that we needed to get this thing off the ground. So what an exciting opportunity. My goodness, I'm going to tell you right now, if we do this right and everyone just stays aggressive and find that next Gator fan that is still not a member, we will be at 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 members 2-3 years from now. Our freshman class, we will have, and I was talking to, I don't think I'm allowed to say his name yet. He's not announced, but I was talking to one of the new coaches that is not announced yet earlier today. And he said, we need to have it to where our new offensive line and our defensive line, everyone is on NIL contracts And we can do that here at the Gator Collective. That is my goal. I want to have them all. They come to Florida. They're going to get taken care of off the field. They're going to perform for us and work hard on the field. And I'm telling you, with that right there, I talk to Georgia fans. You know what they tell me? I'm like, so what are you hearing about NIL at Georgia? You know what they're saying? Not hearing really much. Not hearing really much. And I'm like,
yeah, my niece is actually a cheerleader at Georgia. It's a long story. My family is a huge Florida, Georgia. My grandfather played at Georgia. My father ended up playing at Florida. But my niece goes to Georgia. They don't talk about any of this.
It's always the broke. And when they do, it's always the brokerage thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
we got Applebee's offering them free food on Wednesdays. Yeah. That's the deals they write.
This is different. This is different, and I like the interaction with.
This is huge because it gets the interaction between the fans and the players, and it kind of creates that family environment. And I see Billy Napier and the staff is a lot about family. With the coaches who are recruiting, being at a recruit's house until 2 a.m. playing video games, just relating and just staying aggressive, with all the billboards that Florida's put up everywhere. Florida's staying aggressive, and you're staying aggressive with the Gator Collective, and this is going to be huge. And I'm glad to get you on the podcast so you can explain to all the viewers. You've answered so many questions that I was going to ask you, about what it benefits the players, what it benefits the fans, and all of that. Yeah, I mean, you've been very transparent. About everything. And please, for those of y'all who are watching, it's right there, the Gator Collective. It's not a whole lot to donate. Start at $6, $10, whatever you want. Just become a member. And thank you, Eddie, so much for your time. And God bless you, and all that you do, and the sacrifices that you and your family are making to make this happen.
Hey, thank you guys so much for having me. You know how to reach me. You got my cell.
I got you.
Anything you guys need, let me know. We're family in this, and we're gonna get there. I'm telling you, we're gonna get there because we won't stop. So I appreciate the platform, guys. Thank you so much for the vine.
Before I let you go, I have one more question for you. How do you feel about the matchup between Florida and UCF tomorrow night?
Hey, I'm going down. I have 13 of my friends. Half of them are UCF people. It's an interesting. We're taking a party bus down, so we're gonna put Gator stickers and UCF stickers all the way down. I think we're gonna win. I think UCF's obviously they're optimistic. This is their chance to come after us, right? The in-state thing that they want to get off.
Mm-hmm.
They did win that 2017 national title.
Yeah.
So we got to be careful. Actually, even my friends that are UCF fans are like, we are so embarrassed that they have that on our stadium. So, but yeah, we're going to win that game. We're definitely going to win that game. I think Emory has a really good game, actually. I think he comes out and actually plays really well. He's got, this is a really good resume game for him in what he's trying to do with this transfer. We wish him the best. Damian Pierce, I could see him doing like that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Remember that final game where he had a big bowl game against Michigan for us? And he's going – I feel like Damian Pierce is that NFL-ready running back that with one huge game, it really can spark a really good momentum for him going to the next level.
I've had high praise about Damian Pierce this whole entire year. I feel like when you have the hot hand, you just need to give it to him. And I felt like he didn't get it enough, like he should have. But I think this will be his game.
It's going to be exciting. I'm going to be driving down, leaving at 3 o'clock, getting there around 5. Going to hang out for a couple of suds, and then we're going to head in that stadium.
All right, buddy. Hey, you make it loud in there.
Time.
Make it loud in there, Eddie. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yes, definitely. Make it loud in there, and let the. As you're walking, you see those Gator fans, and make sure they're involved in the Gator Collective, because I know I'm going to do it. Because you've made it, you sold it to me, and hopefully you've sold it to everybody watching now or who will be watching this podcast in the future.
Yep.
Go Gators, guys! Thank you so much.
Thank you. Gators. Have a good one.
Thank you. So excited to have Eddie on, man. That was amazing.
Yes, that was exciting to have Eddie on there. Thank you guys for tuning in to that and being a part of that.
Go ahead, Lucas.
He didn't even have to do that. That's
No,
the
man.
key part.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like as far as the Gator Collective, man, and I'm just gonna. I know we've been talking about it. I'm gonna touch on it even more, just because from a personal standpoint, he doesn't have to do that, man. And then the players on Twitter, they're talking to the players or the fans and stuff, and what they're doing. They treat everybody as equals, and to me that just stuck out, and I just it's a phenomenal group. So if you are a fan and it's, you want to contribute, that's the best way to get involved. You may not own a restaurant, you may not own a $1 million business, and that you can sign these NIL deals, but as a fan, that's another way you can get involved. And it's $6 a Starbucks coffee, like he says, and we got to stay aggressive on it. And I want Gator Gang, and I know Lucas. I'm sure you want your group to be involved in this as well. So
I'm
we
proud.
got to get these guys
I'll
involved.
give them a shout out. I'll give them a shout out on Facebook, on the groups, and Twitter.
Yeah. So I know we need to get into this bowl game because that was amazing. Talk about the NIL, but it's so important. I thought it was really important. But let's get into the bowl game.
Yeah, so Florida versus UCF. As we've talked about it, the in-state game sold out quickly, as I said earlier. UCF, they're going to feel like this is their chance. They come into this game 8-4. Florida comes to this game 6-6, and we're just going to kind of jump right in it. Darryl, how are you feeling about this game?
I'm nervous. I ain't gonna lie. I'm nervous, and I'm only nervous because UCF and the state of Florida has good talent across the board. I mean, even in these smaller schools, they have some good talent. But I do think that Florida's ready. That they're gonna go in.
I don't mean to cut you off, Darryl, but from what I've been reading all week on Swamp 24/7, the team is all ready to go.
Yeah. So talking to the players on the Gator Collective, the space and everything. I mean, they seem pretty ready. They're excited. They want to make it. These are those kind of games you got to be a little bit more physical in, and kind of put your presence in the football game, so to speak. And I think that's what Florida needs to do to be successful. Get that run game going, and then make that dominance going. We really don't want UCF to have the ball. They actually have a fairly decent passing offense, so we need to control that game and keep that ball away from them. So the only reason why I'd say I was nervous is some of these bowl games lately have been some of the teams that aren't supposed to be winning are winning. So that's the only thing that worries me. But
well, within the last 2 years, we've seen some crazy college football, and going into this year, we definitely didn't expect to see the playoffs as they are now.
No.
This is our last podcast, and for the until after the game. But Florida, has got to come into this game, and they've got to come and get this win. We've played Florida State, we got the win there. We played USF, got the win there. We got to get the win against UCF, and then we can say that we're state champs. I mean, we didn't get to play Miami this year, but the Gators are definitely the state champs, and we know who runs the state.
We run the state. We run the state.
We definitely run the state. So, Lucas, I'm going to start with you on this one. Give me your score prediction for tomorrow night.
I got 31-24.
31-24. Okay, those of y'all who are watching, drop y'all's your score predictions in the comments below. Darryl, I know you haven't had much time to think about it, but what would your score prediction be for this game?
Honestly, like we were just talking, this bowl game came up so quickly, and the end of the season just came up so quick. Anyway, I think Emory is going to have a really good game. I'm going to go 38-21. I think Florida is just going to dominate the game pretty early and control that game, and I really hope that that's how it goes. And I think a lot of these players that are looking to transfer, they're going to have really good games as well. So I'm going to go 38-21 Gators. In Tampa.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 38-14. I just feel like defense is gonna play good. I feel like the offense is gonna put up some points, and like you said, we're going to have a good game and go out winners because
Animal.
the plays that are going to be the players that are going to be on this team. They're going to want to play hard and put
Yeah.
something on film for Coach Napier.
Hey, Animal said, I think it's Joe. I'm further from the screen than I normally am. Was it 38-17?
Yeah. Yeah, Joe, we see your score 38-17. I like that. Yeah, that's pretty close to ours. What we think is going to happen. UCF has had their offensive line struggles, and their
Oh,
struggles
by the
with.
way, guys, FSU another reason that FSU lost their offensive coordinator on freaking signing in on us, and they lost the #1 player.
Yeah, so I mean, it's been a crazy recruiting season, but Billy Napier's done great in the short period of time that he's had. But before we can get into the Billy Napier era of it being like, official in the off season and seeing, because we know, more moves are going to happen with, what's going to happen with, the coaches that are there. And then other coaches that we will be getting in contact with, because there are some deals that are like, because football season is not quite official yet. You will see
By the way,
some
guys,
big names
by the
coming
way,
in.
another thing to consider about this coaching staff, there is some NFL guys, so we might have to wait till.
Yeah, we may have to wait a few weeks for for them to be announced, but I love the way the Coach Napier and the coaching staff and the nutrition, the Gator Collective, just the big picture of where this university is going with the new facilities. It's outstanding, and we're on the path to being a dynasty and being what Alabama is now.
Yeah, we really are Billy. Or Billy. I don't know why I'm calling you Billy. Bobby. We really. I'm tired, Bobby. We really are getting close. To being that, and so many things are leading up to it. Recruiting starting to be fun again, and I think I think we've hired a coach. I think we've actually hired a coach, not somebody that's coming in and just being flashy, and I think we actually got a guy. So I'm really excited about this, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where it goes. Yeah, I really am. So the Florida Gators are looking up, and then things are going to start coming back really quick. And it ain't just going to be just for a 1 or 2 seasons. It's going to be a consistent thing. So
Exactly. I say by year 3, we should be chugging along pretty good. Once I think
Not,
year
if
1 is
not,
going
we're
to
gonna be
be.
fine. If not,
I
we're gonna
think
be.
year 1 is going to be the struggle because of depth. If you see Florida lose a game this year, I can guarantee you it was a close game going into the third, fourth quarter.
hey, so first game of the year, guys. Lucas, I'm gonna get up with you, Lucas, and see if we can make this work out. But look, we're gonna get in that Gator walk. We gonna be holding that Gator Collective banner, and we're gonna be right there in the front row of
There
the
we
Gator
go.
walk next year.
That's how we do it.
So
We
we need to
gotta
do
go.
that. We just need to
We
make that
gotta.
happen. We need to put
We
that. Let me
gotta.
go put that on the calendar, baby. Baby, put the Utah game on the calendar. Gator walk with Bobby and Lucas.
There we go. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching the podcast tonight. And we thank our special guest Eddie for coming on and from the Gator Collective, and letting our fans know all about the
You
Gator
put that on the
Collective,
calendar.
and the benefits to it. And as we say before we get out of here, if you ain't a Gator,
You must be Gator bait.
there we go. Thank you guys. You have a good night. Go
Go
Gators.
Gators.
I'm gonna go give Bob. I'm gonna go